Crimechurch, BEZUIDENHOUT brothers. Chapter 3. I'd done something real bad. Minnie is hiding in the jungle down at the dirt mounds, sheltering from his own shockwave. Although he might not have wanted to crush a man's arm, he wanted to do something big to someone for some time. Back in the day, Minnie and me would clamber up these mounds of dirt created by this housing construction in the fields across the river from our house. The dirt mounds were hills of dirt, soil, rock, Canterbury river stones and sand, this gravelly sludge that would flow into our shoes, making our homeward steps heavy. Mounds missions we'd call our adventures. We'd have to shake out our gumboots constantly, but that's what wilderness was, a place to be alone. No one to help you unless you bring a friend. At the top of the mountains, we would squint against the low, thin winter sun. We would pick up the roundest river stones that we could. We would brush off all the gravel and sand, anything that would affect the flight path of the rock. We would aim for any part of the development, let loose. Completed houses, smash the windows. Half-built houses, we aimed for the hot water boilers sitting exposed inside skeletons of framing timber. We dented the metal till it popped. We dinged the hulls of concrete mixers. We smashed the wing mirrors of the builders' utes. We knocked birds out of the sky. We snapped the stems of the baby trees pushed into new hills. We were chased by cops, builders, security guards. One time even a photogenic couple who sicked their dog on us and we hid in the empty drum of a concrete mixer, praying the driver wouldn't turn it on, tumble us to death, listening to our hearts hammer. We danced with danger. Getting to safety was our first high. We slept here once. We'd built a bivouac from the hull of a rowboat, and all this framing timber dragged out of a dumpster. We took care to fetch our finest caveman rocks and smash down the jagged nails sticking out. The bivvy that we built had a roof made from the longest rafters we could find, positioned between willow trees. And over these we draped anything flat, land for sale, inquire within signs, and old Crusaders billboards, slimy tarpaulins hauled out of the lake which we air dried and draped over our cave. We were wild. Under a tarpaulin deep in the jungle, over those massive fallen tree trunks some kid long ago carved steps into, where the ceiling is too low for grown-ups, that is where I find Minnie, huddled under his hoodie. "I done something real bad," he tells me, then his eyes melt and his face folds. After he's got his crying out of the way, I explain the bad news to Minnie. That Chong dude, the one who was stunting with the chainsaw, staunching everybody out, he's not dead, which is kind of good. What's kind of bad, though, is he's on the warpath. He's still got his one good arm and he's fucking people up across the city. He's going to find you, little bro, I explain, pacing in front of his cave while I lecture him. Doesn't matter if I've been 3,000 k's away in Winston, I've been a crim for years. I can still put my ear on the grapevine any time. I know this Chong psycho personally. I went to school with the cunt. I saw him get in that scrap with that Bible teacher. He loves his payback, this Chong fella. "Is there going to be, reprisals and stuff?" Minnie asks me, looking up from between his knees. "I would say so. Fourth Reich, I got a text from them. They're going to patch me." He sucks his face dry and stares at me, blinking wet lashes, waiting for approval. "Minnie, dude, you're little. Stay little. Stay so little the giants don't even notice you." "But what am I supposed to tell Master Kyle?" "Chuck your phone in the river, bro. Hide out at Mumsy's place. They'll forget all about you eventually." "But Jade Slattery comes to people's mums' places." "Well, maybe you should have stood up to him." "I did stand up to him. That's the oldest brother's job. Where was your ass? Jail? Some titty house in Linwood?" I'm close to slapping the cunt. I walk a small circle and light a ciggy instead, and I take a seat on a stump next to him. "Is he okay, though? Like his arm and stuff?" I shake my head slowly. A flood of tears and snot falls out his eyes and nose. He tips on his side in the dirt, trying to rock the anxiety away. His arms are shivering and there are goose pimples on his Southern Cross tattoo. "Everyone's trying to beat me up, Marty, and I didn't even do nothing." I take off my cap, scratch my itchy bald spot. I noticed I was going bald as soon as I hit Perth. Guess my body needed the pressure of Crimechurch to keep it together. I park my butt in the dirt beside him. It's pretty, the view from our bivouac. In the damp leaves of the forest I spot buttercups, toadstools, bush robins, tree bark, saplings. I hear ducks splashing and squawking. A fantail flutters. No humans. Bro, you have to tell me the truth. Chong was at your guys' place in the first place swinging a Husqvarna 360. Why? 'Cause he reckoned I heard his mum. Oh. I squeeze his shoulder. So, just a misunderstanding? She disrespected my people. I had to strike. I sit up straight. Hang on, we can't be talking about the same... Not that little old lady that does probation. Minnie snorts snot into his fingers, wipes it in the mud, then wipes his muddy, snotty hand on his shorts. She's a target, man. She doesn't respect the white race. Plus, I found out her dickhead son had sex with Anushka, that Chong fuck. When I told Kyle Chadwick, I don't know, just sort of gave me the speech about, like, finding the Ubermensch inside me, and I've felt all powerful and shit, and I don't know, he told me to. So you beat up his mum? No wonder he wanted to chop you guys up. Jesus. I let her tyres down in her car, that's all, honest. I blink for 10 seconds, trying to figure out if he's acting dumb, or he's legitimately dumb. Minnie, are you aware someone beat the shit out of her with a frickin' baseball bat last week? Minnie looks flabbergasted. All it done is whack that big Chong fella with a car, 'cause, like, the code. Yeah. The code says it's fair. If he's starting some shit, you get to finish it. I get it. Just hang tight on the thing with his mum. I'll get some answers. I phone around. I phone my Viet Chow crew, my Indian boys, my burglars. I even get Hendrik up at Paparoa, tell him to tap the grapevine for me. It takes 3 sets of gossip before we can work out what the story is. I'd heard there was a biker war on. I'd heard Jade Slattery was in the mix. I hadn't heard people's families were fair game. I returned to the bushes at the end of the day. Tea time, when we should all be gathered around the table, buttering mealy bread. I crouch in front of my brother. I take his limp, wet, floppy hand. Taha, that's her name apparently. Mrs. Tonga on Nevi. Someone smashed her head in with a bat, bro. This is serious shit. Are you positive? All you done is let her tyres down. Minnie nods his head, licks a booger off his top lip. Well, someone's gonna get murdered for doing that shit to Chong's mum, man. Fuck. Christ. I take one last smell of the BEZUIDENHOUT boys' camp. Our damp, safe base. Then I get up and stretch. Minnie, man, it might have been easiest for everyone if you just let yourself die the other night, because I don't know how the fuck we're going to get this mess cleaned up. I haul my brother to his feet. I drape him over me in a fireman's lift and carry him home. Come on, watch out for the stream there. Mumsy's doing the braai for dinner. Your favourite, man. Dry those tears. I got you. Almost home, Minnie.